Hi, everyone. Welcome to People Watch, the official podcast of the People Management Association of the Philippines.
Here, there are no motherhood statements, no hiding behind obsolete theories and adages, and no time to beat around the bush.
Just real talk with real people.
I'm Joan Chung, and I will be hosting this show with Jovenir Paitaikan.
Hi, Ms. Joan.
Hi, Jove. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited. This is episode 2 of our podcast, and we have 2 powerhouse women with us. And
Yeah.
I think you're the third, Ms. Joan.
Kung woman ka lang, powerhouse ka rin, Jove.
Yeah, that would have been my mother's headache if I had been a woman.
All right. Now, sabi nga natin, we won't beat around the bush. So let's get straight to it. Our first guest is a familiar name in PMAP. She is the president and CEO of People Ignite for 20 years, where she has ignited passion through her words in various profit and non-profit organizations. Welcome to People Watch, JV Wong.
Hi, everyone. Hi,
Hello.
gorgeous Joan Chung. And to our dashing debonair EIC Editor-in-Chief, Sir Jove. Happy to be here for your podcast.
We're so happy to have you, Ms. JV. I will always remember Ignite, and it will always be synonymous with you and your energy and your power.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, our second guest is a Japan-trained orthodontist who has been in practice for the past 32 years. She also has another career. She's actually an author. Her first 2 books and her upcoming book, she will talk to us, and because it's about to be launched. And of course, we will talk to her more. And she has a I like her nickname. She's Dr. Cynthia Quismundo, and she's also known as Dr. Q. Doc,
Yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. Hi.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. It's really an honor.
You're not related to my favorite James Bond character, right? The Q, CQ.
No.
Welcome to the show, Doc Q. And
Thank
Miss
you for
JV.
having me.
Ayan. So let's start. Maybe you can share your story with us first, no?
Come.
Paano ba kayo nagkakilala? Kayong dalawa, Miss JV and Doc Q. How did your paths intersect?
Actually, while we were waiting to start, I sent a message to Zandra Yebron, our common friend. Sandra used to be a People Igniter, and I was just thanking her about connecting both Dr. Q and me. So thank you to Zandra Yebron. She connected us because she was launching her first book at that time. Should be about 3 years ago. Did I get the timeline right, Doc Q?
Yes, you're right.
Go ahead, Doc Q.
So I met her through Sandra, and then I was invited to join the Women Supporting Women. Am I right, JB? Is that the name of the group? You
Yes,
had an
yes.
event, yeah.
Yeah. So
Alright.
Women Supporting Women Philippines, that was a virtual organization we put together to support women going through a difficulty in the pandemic. That's how I got to know Dr. Q. Such a name, right? Doc Q.
Ang ganda.
Well, Doc Q has actually written 2 books so far. The first one back in 2020 was Love Letters from the Father. And in 2021, she wrote Love Letters from the Father for Women. And Doc,
Yeah.
just a gist of the first 2 books, and then we'll talk about your upcoming book.
Well, actually, I've been journaling for decades, and then maybe a few years back, before I came out with these 2 books, I actually started journaling as if I was receiving love letters from God. So somebody encouraged me to just put them together in my first book, and then kind of categorize them like in, depending on the need of the person, like if you're stressed, if you feel alone, so something like that. It was kind of timely also for the lockdown, and it was a tool to help people in my own way to cope with the new normal. And then the second one is actually for women specifically, and I love this book because it has a music playlist that goes with it. It's really like receiving love letters from your lover. And God,
Nice.
God can actually
Maalaala mo kaya, no? May background music.
Kinda. Kinda.
So sorry to interrupt you, but does that mean na habang binabasa nila yung love letters, they can play those songs alongside
No,
the book?
Actually, the book is very interactive in the sense that you read the text, and then after that you listen to the music, and then there's a page for reflections. It's like a journal book. So you write down, your takeaways and how it resonated with you, and you can actually use that page to write a love letter to God or something like that.
Nice.
And
And what about the third book?
the third book, by the way, Ms. Joan, is quite significant because for the audience, Dr. Q is actually going through a difficult phase. And I think I'll ask her to talk about the inspiration as well and what she's going through right now and how significant the third book is going to be. Doc?
Okay. Yeah. So the third book is very, very close to my heart because it was birthed out of pain and suffering. And I'm sure a lot of women are going through that as well in many ways, in many aspects. It's not just physical, ailment, but also relational, could be psychological as the effect of, the being locked down and isolated. So it's close to my heart because I'm still undergoing treatment for my cancer. So when I was diagnosed in October, I started journaling. Actually, I never planned to come up with a third book because, I was in the middle of all this hurricane in life. And I don't think anybody is prepared for such a crisis, no? Even because I'm a wellness coach.
Yes.
So I'm actually, I'm a health buff and I mentor people to be healthy. So of all people, I got it because it's really in our DNA. So, but anyway, what struck me with that was the suffering actually led me to learning lessons I would not have learned outside this experience. So the third book now is you'll see my conversations with God. I would talk to God, and mind you that I have down times. There was a time that I wanted to quit. I didn't want to go through the chemo anymore. And so I'm not always up, but somehow God picks me up, and then He restores me and then gives me a second wind to have the passion to live longer. So that's the third book. So that's why it's Love Letters from the Father for healing.
Okay.
And when you talk about healing, again, it can actually apply to any aspect of your life. I think every person needs some level of healing, right?
Yeah. Like what JV mentioned a while ago, it's not just about the physical healing, but also emotional, right? Some people are going through a trauma or depression or experiences that are similar in nature that they need to recover from.
Yeah.
So is this book, does this book also talk about the vulnerable aspects of your experience?
Well, in a way, because, when I was writing my letter to God, it would somehow reflect how I felt at that time. Like, when my chemo session is coming, I would have this anxiety. Like, I hated the feeling of vomiting and losing the appetite and all that. So I was dreading all those, and then the puncture of the needles, and then there was a stage that they couldn't find the vein anymore because they collapsed. That's why they had to put an implant recently here. So it's still here. I mean, it's still painful. So, but life goes on.
When you received the diagnosis, Doc, and probably Ms. JV, you can also pitch in. Like you said you're a wellness coach, and that's the least that you would the profile of those with very bad habits. No, what were the immediate things that changed? You can immediately when you got it, you're already living a healthy life. So what had to change because of when you found out?
In terms of what? In terms of my lifestyle?
Yes, or how you did your life, or how you see things. Like, for example, the fact that you came up with another book, you decided to go for another book. Was there something that you need to do, and you need to do faster? You need to do what? You need to rush things.
Actually, in contrary, I slowed down.
Oh, that's okay.
Because prior to that, I was, go. I would do so many things at the same time.
Yes.
Like I would write the book, I would mentor, I would, so many things were going on in my life.
Very busy life, yes.
So this cancer has actually slowed me down. But again, sometimes less is more. So I even actually gained probably more strength, not just physically, but, within me. I developed some inner strength that I would not have probably developed outside this experience.
Is there some kind of realization also na really we have to take it slow or at a slower pace?
Yeah, would that be an advice you would give to everyone, not just women, but for men as well, to slow down?
I think one realization I got was, diba, we think that life is so short that we have to accomplish so many things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can only do so much, right? Because it takes a toll on your health and everything else. Even sometimes, compromise your relationships, diba? Because you can't spend a lot of time with them. So what this experience taught me was, slowing down is not necessarily not accomplishing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, if you hurry, sometimes you kind of miss out on the more important things.
Yes.
I like that, no? Parang mas intentional.
Intentional, yes. So I'm very, now, I kind of curate, the activities that what's important to me and people I need to see, people I need to talk to, yung ganyan.
Mm-hmm.
Parang I was like spreading myself too thinly before.
Yes, before.
So now, I base my choices on the value of, sometimes I always see it, ang backdrop ko is always eternity. Parang at yun parati yung perspective ko, what's the eternal value of this one? Because everything here is temporary, right? Even our suffering is temporary. Nothing is permanent. Yeah. Even our relationships are not permanent. So I have to think in a different perspective, thinking that, what's the eternal value of this one? Like if I go, what's gonna happen to what I do? Kasi we were trained to be human doers, diba? Parang we wanna do. But I realized that God is not concerned about what we do. He's concerned about what we become, regardless. And I don't have to prove myself.
Yes.
To be validated, because I'm already validated by God. So I'm
very
enough
powerful
already.
Statement, Doc. Very powerful statement.
Especially
and what we
women.
become is far more important. Yes.
Yes, more than what we do. And sometimes what we do, we allow them to validate us. Like me, sometimes being a doctor, ganyan, parang naging yun na yung identity ko. That's not my identity. That's not who I am. That's what I do.
Right.
But that's not who I am. So we need to kind of shift our mindset to the being. What are you becoming? With all these things that you're accomplishing in life, have you become a better wife, a better friend, a better sister, a better mother?
Yeah, sometimes nakakalungkot, no? Why it should take a certain experience for us to realize this.
Yes.
Right? Parang hindi nawawala yung invincibility, no?
Yeah.
I think that would be very important for us. We don't have to wait for, life-changing traumatic situations to really, look at the value of what we're doing. Ms. JV, your thoughts, please.
My thoughts? Naiiyak ako. I mean...
Ang lalim, hindi ako sanay sa ganitong usapan eh.
My eyes are welling with tears because I'm so honored to be listening and be with one of my spiritual mentors, and I consider Doc Q as a spiritual inspirer. I learned about her through the books that she writes. I'd order dozens of her books and give it away to friends. Until now, I'm using her book as a journal therapy for me. So, my thoughts, no, Sir Jove? Life is short, and in that infinity, in that shortness, we don't always have to do so many things. Parang ang high impact sa akin nung what's the eternal value of this activity? Is this something that may be able to please God in the process, or is it just for me? And I shared with Dr. Q last week. I said, Doc Q, I've been during my prayer time, the Lord, our Father, whatever religion or ecumenical affiliation we are, has been imposing in my heart about being invincible, about not having to be in the limelight all the time, not being able to get validation from others, just stepping back and being in quiet time with Him is already becoming. That's for me. Already becoming. Yung being tsaka doing, grabe, nakakalito. It can be confusing, but for this podcast, our aha moment is we have to focus on what we are becoming rather than what we are doing. Diba, Sir Jove? Miss Joan? Right?
Yeah. Naisip ko nga dapat yata tinuturo to sa prioritization. Diba? Usually, diba, sa mga management courses, we teach about, diba, the important, doing the important things first. Right? But what we focus on usually are the important things that are in work, right? We fail to consider the relationships, diba? The other more important things na cannot be measured by money or success.
Yeah.
So ang ganda, very inspirational. So for both of you, our theme kasi diba for today is women warriors, women of adaptive resilience. How can you show how can we inspire others to have this resilience? Or ano ba yan? Natututunan ba yan? Or because you go through it, talagang it comes out?
Actually, JV, you wanna go first?
Go ahead, Doc Q. Go ahead.
No, I think it's like being enrolled in a university. No, it's like from kinder, primary school, high school, college. You go through different challenges, diba? In school, right? You're given an exam, you're trained, you are, may mga developing of skills. And I think what we lack is we focus on, again, what we do, what we see. Parang parating the end result of what, we want something tangible, but we don't care much about what is not seen, which is our heart, our soul, and all that. But that one also is kind of developed over time as you go through the challenges of life. In fact, the trials and the challenge are prerequisite to developing your character. Kasi if there are no trials, oh my gosh, parang we're so weak and no courage, parang babies na mga brat na spoiled, ganyan.
And life is gonna be boring, di ba, Doc Q? Parang imagine our life na walang pagsubok, there are no challenges, there are no trials. Life is gonna be really, really boring. So,
but can we choose the kind of challenges na kakayanin natin? Kasi parang, like for example, I'd just like to share with you, for example, yung hyperacidity lang. And that it triggers anxiety, parang ang dami ko ng problema, napakaeng-eng na. But what you're going through right now is no match whatsoever. And then the beauty of it is that it brings out something different, something more profound. And that is so admirable. I think my next question is, how can your loved ones, the men in your life, for example, can support you as you go through some of these very difficult and very personal challenges?
Ang ganda niyan. For the men naman yung questions.
Doc Q, may I honor Wowie, my husband, who's been my professional caregiver.
Of course. Yes.
So Doc Q, while she's in the process of battling and conquering cancer one day at a time, one chemo session at a time, ako naman po, I am praising God, I am now 20 years being a cancer
Yay!
survivor. So, I won't be
great.
able to, thank you. I won't be able to go through it without the love of my husband, Wawi, who was my emotional support when I was down and I was in the darkest place. He would match a little bit of fire and give me hope. So we need people who love us, who make us feel significant, to heal. But you know what? I also want to let you know that 20 years back, I would curse cancer every day because I hated the experience and the feeling and the pain. But I was sharing with Doc today, cancer is one of the best blessings I've ever experienced because it has molded my heart of resilience na kaya ko palang I am able to overcome the most difficult because God is with me and our loved ones are here with us. So, yep, the greatest challenges can be our greatest blessings. Back to you, Doc.
I think in my case, when I was diagnosed, I had to involve the men in my life. When I say men, because I have 2 boys, right? I have no daughter. So all of them are men. So when I say I involved them, I actually sat down with them and expressed how I felt. And I made myself vulnerable. I didn't, even appear like I'm so strong, I can handle this and all that. As I became very real to them. And then I asked them to research with me on the best path to take, and then we made the decision together. So involving the men in your life is important, and every chemo session, all of my boys accompany me. They will drop everything and just make sure that they wake up early, and then they go with me to the hospital. So that's very, very essential.
Wow. I'm getting goosebumps, no, just listening to that. Parang diba, like in management, we try to create ownership by involving our team. So parang ganun yung nakikita ko, no? You also involve your family. Kasi it's a joint battle, eh. It's not just you battling it. And ang nice kasi at least they also get to feel what you're feeling. They will have that empathy towards you.
Yeah.
Ang ganda.
Yeah.
It's a family affair.
This is quite the whole conversation is really tugging at your emotional strings right now, and I think we are so blessed to have this talk with you, Dr. Q and Ms. JV, and of course Ms. Joan. As we wrap up our episode, and I think a lot of people will be asking, where can they get a copy of your book, Dr. Q, and when's the release of the 3rd book? And we would like to support you as well.
Thank you for having me this opportunity to plug my book. But it's available in Lazada.
Lazada. Okay. So they will just search for the title of the book or the author's name?
Yes. And then the 3rd book will be launched, God willing, this coming June. After my chemo is done.
Okay.
Wow.
And of course, our prayers are with you, Dr.
Thank
Q.
you.
We are so confident that with your strength, you're going to win this again. I mean,
inspiring.
you're going to win this. You're going to win
Inspiring.
this. Yes.
Yeah.
I will cheer you. We will always be there for you.
Thank you. Can I just say one statement
We're
before
going through
we
afflictions
sign off?
right now.
Yeah, talking about afflictions, I think they are necessary for promotion. Every trial. If you want to be promoted in life, you have to go through a particular trial. It's like, diba, grade 1, you take the exam for grade 2 and all that. It's the same with life. So we need to embrace it. Of course, during the pain, it's nasty. As in, parang you wanna give up and all that. But it's necessary for promotion.
Yeah. Sana sa akin, wisdom tooth lang hanggang wisdom tooth. Baka pwedeng mamili. Lord, pwedeng ganito lang. Baka ito yung, I think I'm a coward probably. So, I don't know. I am hoping that when God said na, pag sinabi kasi na God doesn't give you something that you cannot win over.
Yeah.
So, sana Lord, wisdom tooth lang. Kaya medyo makakaya ko yun. Mabis yun. And
Sabi mo lang.
sabi ko lang yan, Mama. No?
Sabi mo lang.
Oh my God. So,
Yeah.
Pero diba, once
yeah.
you overcome one challenge, it becomes easier. And then, mas mahirap na yung next, of course. But once you overcome it, alam mo na how it feels. It doesn't make you like it less. Tama ba? Diba? But still, you overcome it. So, ang ganda. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Miss JV, maraming salamat po. And of course, this is your idea. And thank you for letting us meet Dr. Q, getting to know her in this profound ways. Thank you so much, Miss JV.
Maraming salamat po. Ang aking takeaway dito is from nasty to necessity. Whatever nasty experiences or challenges or problems, it is a necessity so we can grow and level up. Sabi nga ni Dr. Q.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm now going to curate my friends. Malamang isa na lang maiiwan doon. Malamang sarili ko lang yung kausap ko if I have to curate my friends, make it less stressful. But I'll keep you guys if I'm allowed to keep you guys, Miss Joan. And Miss Joan, di ba kailangan mong bumalik for dinner dito sa Pilipinas kasi lunch ka lang kanina, Joan?
Kaya pa.
Kaya pa. Okay, so again, thank you so much. On behalf of PMAP, we would like to thank Martin, of course, who's working behind the scenes. It's Miss Sarah Niguas. And our president, Miss Beth, president of PMAP. Thank you so much. This is her program, and we are so happy that we're given the chance, Miss Beth Nasol, by the way, so that we could get a chance to meet so many people, talk to them, give you meaningful insights. And Miss Joan, thank you.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Doc
Thank
Q.
you.
Thank you for our
God
guests.
bless you.
Thank you for the inspiration.
And this has been your PMAP podcast, People Watch. Perspectives matter. Thank you. Until next time.
Thank you, guys.